Deion Sanders claimed half the field as his own territory, with pure intimidation and deleted opponents through coverage skills and psychological warfare. Jalen Ramsey punishes receivers at the line as a modern eraser as he toggles across cornerback and safety roles in a league that has evolved its rules to favor offenses since Deion's days. The question? Does Primetime's untouchable ball-hawking aura outweigh Ramsey's physical versatility? 5 years into his career, quarterbacks were already designing offensive schemes around Deion Sanders, and most of those plans involved avoiding his side of the field entirely. Sanders accumulated 53 career interceptions across his 14-season run, but the numbers only tell half the story of his psychological warfare against offensive coordinators. In 1993, Sanders led the NFL with 7 interceptions despite missing games due to a respiratory infection. Quarterbacks weren't just throwing away from him. They were designing entire offensive schemes to pretend his coverage zone didn't exist. During his Atlanta years alone, Sanders intercepted 24 passes, creating a ripple effect that extended far beyond the stat sheet. The intimidation factor reached its peak during Sanders' signature celebrations. Sanders became known for high-stepping into the end zone followed by his touchdown dances, but the psychological damage happened before he even reached the goal line. Sanders later revealed his strategy. "I wanted to see when he quit. That's why I looked back at him. When you exude dominance, there is a level of dominance that makes your opponent quit." Consider the mathematical impact of Sanders' presence. Sanders retired second all-time in interception return yardage with 1,331 yards and tied for second with 9 interception return touchdowns. But quarterbacks throwing away from him created a cascading effect. When half the field becomes unavailable, offensive efficiency plummets across every metric. In 1994, Sanders became the first player ever to have 2 90-yard interception returns for touchdowns in the same season, demonstrating that even when quarterbacks tried to test him, the results were catastrophic. The high-stepping celebration wasn't just showmanship, it was strategic demoralization. As Sanders lifted his feet and danced down the field, he would look back at his opponents in what was described as the most vicious way to demoralize someone that he just beat down the field. Opposing receivers began hearing footsteps before Sanders even arrived, fundamentally altering their route running and concentration. Sanders' coverage skills operated on multiple levels simultaneously. Despite his electrifying talents as a return man, Sanders was more widely regarded as a shutdown corner during his career, earning first-team All-Pro honors 9 times at cornerback. The combination of elite coverage technique and psychological intimidation created a defensive weapon that transcended traditional cornerback metrics. But here's where the era becomes crucial to understanding Sanders' impact. The 1990s NFL allowed defensive backs to be more physical with receivers, and the passing game hadn't yet evolved into the high-volume, quick-strike offenses that define today's league. Sanders' dominance came during a specific window in NFL history, before rule changes fundamentally altered what defensive backs could accomplish. The question emerges: would Sanders' psychological warfare and coverage brilliance translate to an era where defenders face stricter contact rules, more sophisticated passing concepts, and receivers trained specifically to overcome intimidation tactics? Now let's examine how Ramsey has redefined cornerback dominance in this evolved league. More than a decade after Sanders' retirement, Jalen Ramsey entered the NFL as the 5th overall pick in the 2016 draft, immediately stepping into a league that had fundamentally shifted its rules to favor offensive production. Ramsey faced the challenge of dominating in a pass-happy league designed to protect offensive players and generate scoring. Ramsey has accumulated 25 career interceptions across his 10 seasons with 4 different teams, numbers that pale compared to Sanders' 53 career picks, but tell only part of the story. Modern offensive coordinators design quick-strike passing attacks specifically to prevent interceptions, making Ramsey's ball production impressive within the context of today's evolved game. Ramsey's career-high 4 interceptions came in multiple seasons including 2017, 2021, and 2022, demonstrating consistent playmaking ability despite facing far more sophisticated passing concepts of modern-day NFL offenses. The physical punishment Ramsey delivers operates within today's stricter contact rules, yet remains devastatingly effective. Ramsey bursts into the backfield on corner blitzes to sack quarterbacks for significant losses, demonstrating the kind of aggressive versatility that Sanders never needed to develop. Where Sanders deleted half the field through coverage alone, Ramsey erases offensive concepts by playing multiple positions and attacking from unexpected angles. Ramsey recorded 88 tackles and matched his career-best total while racking up a career-high 3 sacks during his 2025 season with Pittsburgh, showcasing the versatility that defines modern cornerback excellence. Ramsey has evolved into a defensive weapon who impacts multiple phases of the game. After 10 years primarily playing corner, Ramsey has found renewed energy manning safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The psychological warfare element that defined Sanders' dominance has been replaced by Ramsey's physical intimidation at the line of scrimmage. Ramsey's hit-stick pass breakups against elite receivers seal victories through pure physicality, creating a different kind of fear among opposing receivers. Where Sanders would high-step past beaten opponents, Ramsey punishes receivers before they can even begin their routes, fundamentally altering offensive timing through contact rather than coverage. Ramsey's 108 passes defended rank third among active players since entering the league in 2016, while his 25 interceptions rank fourth among active players over the same span. These numbers reflect dominance achieved under the modern NFL's emphasis on protecting receivers, forcing Ramsey to excel through precise technique and positioning. Consider the evolution of offensive complexity that Ramsey faces daily. Where Sanders dealt with traditional route concepts and single-read progressions, Ramsey covers receivers running option routes from multiple formations while defending against RPOs, quick slants designed to beat press coverage, and pick plays that exploit modern route combinations. Two seminal cornerbacks, two completely different NFL eras, two stellar careers. Sanders dominated through untouchable coverage skills and psychological warfare. Ramsey has redefined cornerback versatility by excelling across multiple positions while delivering physical punishment. Sanders deleted half the field through pure coverage brilliance. Ramsey erases entire offensive concepts through positional versatility and strategic physicality. Both players forced offensive coordinators to fundamentally alter their game plans, but through completely different methods. Sanders' high-stepping intimidation still looms large in the halls of football glory, while Ramsey's physical versatility continues to define the modern defensive standard. Subscribe for more legendary matchups.